Now it is in this game. In the bottom left we do have Gerald, and in the top right it is Bunny playing for Team Falcon still. Already being, I think his contract is about to hit a year. I'm pretty sure he got picked up in February or March last year, so it's about to hit a year, and we'll kind of see if that is a yearly, if he got an annual contract, or if he's actually gonna stay signed up with that team, and if they renew his contract or something, or if it actually has a longer contract already. It's kind of one of those points that we are waiting on here while we're still in that waiting room for the Esports World Cup to be announced. The last two announcements must be one of those, must be StarCraft 2. It's just, it doesn't make any sense otherwise, because, well, if it wouldn't, why would ESL not say anything, right? Why would the Team Falcons re-sign a high-profile player way after the last Esports World Cup in November, if there wouldn't be plans for StarCraft in general to be there again this year? So, guys, just, you know, don't get your hopes up too high, but there's just too many indicators that do say we have it this year. Then there is indicators that say we don't have it this year. And there you go. Now, Bunny has been playing this opening against Dave as well. It's basically going into that Reaper first, a double gas, grabbing that factory, and going into Hellion, a Reaper with a reactor here, into those two Reapers. But this is Gerald, it's not gonna be Dave, so Gerald is not gonna fall to this pressure. Dave did, unfortunately, kind of fall apart against that, and just did not have the information he needed. He wasn't in position to scout the correct timings he kind of needed to. And that was a little bit unfortunate, so he was not able to position his units correctly or pull away the probes in time, stuff like that. Like those tiny things you need to adjust to just stay safe against these builds while still being kind of greedy behind that. And Gerald is sending out a probe in a little bit of a detour here. Might just be to avoid that Reaper. And so far it's looking good, but he might just run into the Reaper here and he's kind of turned back to the base. Oh yes, that's unfortunately, he just runs into the Reaper, literally, and I don't think he's gonna get any additional information here. Not even gonna see that base. So good deny here by Bunny. And Gerald is gonna go into some Stalkers. Twilight is gonna be thrown down here now. We do see the first Adept trying to get some, trying to intercept that Reaper, but little does he know, the Reaper's just waiting at home for his buddies. And so Bunny did play this into a 1-1-1 situation, which he's doing again, and then basically there was a 3-tank push with a Medivac and a bunch of Marines, and instant recall on the Adept. Can he get it home though? Oh no! Ah, that's so unfortunate. It was literally like, it was already, you could already see it getting warped back. It was literally the last millisecond there. Oh my god. Now this is actually a big deal, because that could have been a lot of extra damage he has to himself. Now he kind of needs to hold this with 2 Stalkers and a shield battery. He's gonna grab a probe to make something, I guess, but that's not gonna work much. Now, as I said, Gerald is not gonna fall to this. He does have that shield battery set up, and that's kind of keeping him safe, and that's kind of all you need, it seems here. They're doing a lot of work with that. So looking really good. He's been fighting with the probes a tiny bit. It's gonna lose that. Bunny's gonna lose that last Hellion. And those 3 Reapers, I mean, they literally didn't kill a probe. I guess the one scouting probe, but this is very good for Gerald. Perfect defense, kind of. Only loses a Adept there, but that kind of got caught. It got the information it needed. And unfortunately, he spent that Nexus energy and didn't get it back. But so that's a tiny bit more, but that's only like a timing window, right? It's like 50 seconds you lose on that, or whatever seconds you lose on that Nexus there to gather up the energy. Now we do see that second barracks coming online here, which is most likely gonna have some stim. And this first push, it's looking a tiny bit different than the last time. So last time he went in with a Raven before the Medivac, and he went in with 2 tanks. There's a second tank. This time we do have the Medivac first. But this is quite a powerful push, and Gerald kind of needs to scout this. He only has 5 Stalkers. He does not have Blink yet. As you can see, it's about to finish up. But he kind of needs to be out on the map. So I think he just got a glimpse on this army. Now, there we go. He's gonna warp in a few more units. Oh, losing that observer is quite painful here. You don't want to lose any early units. You don't have to. But he's looking at, what, 7 Stalkers? That's a solid army here. You can definitely break these bio units. My god, he's losing another observer. That's quite unfortunate here for Gerald. Bunny with keen eyes, they're sniping these. And Gerald always, like, rallying those into the army. He was definitely a little bit overconfident there. Now, Liberator's gonna siege up, double tank. This is a good position for him. Stalker's trying to break out here with a big blink, but flanking Marines are gonna finish up that one Stalker. That was a great couple of Marines coming in there from that sideline. Now, we do have these Marines outside of the tank range. You kind of want to go back here. He's gonna place down a bunker. He has an SCV with this. It's literally only one, but that's gonna be enough. Now, this tank is gonna get intercepted here. That's a nice snipe here by Gerald, and he's just gonna let this Robo bleed out, most likely. He's gonna heal that with the shield battery, but I don't think it's gonna make it. And the Immortal is not gonna be there for the defense. Now, if you need to bring one siege tank here kind of into this bunker. You need to bring it here into this nook where it's super close to the bunker. And you need to pull your reinforcements, Bunny. You cannot just walk into these Stalkers. Stalkers are now blinking on top of these tanks. And there's gonna be these reinforcements. Can he potentially flank this one? He's trying to chase these Stalkers out as good as possible and blinking into the reinforcements there. Instant kill by the tank, man. That looked really cool. And Bunny, can he get the tank in position? He might be able to break Gerald here. That's a nice snipe on the medevac, though. Finally, kind of clearing that staying power. Bunny needs to get a few guys into the bunker. And there we go. He's gonna snipe a few probes here. And he's gonna set up a new bunker. Now he has one tank. He's gonna have another tank. He's just rallying units to the front. But meanwhile, back at home, he is developing his economy. He's developing his tech. He's developing everything behind this. His production. And Gerald is just struggling even to catch the reinforcements. He just made it past. Oh, what an unfortunate timing here for Gerald. Looks like checkmate. Yes, indeed. It looks very good here for Bunny. He's going to fill up the second bunker. He's going to throw down a third bunker here now. Gerald is going to stay here in front. Bunny needs to pull his reinforcements. Do not lose this medevac. There we go. That's a nice turnaround here. He's going to... You can actually load these up and then just fly them across into a good position here. Now he's trying to come from all sides. Tanks are focusing on those Stalkers and he's going to lose all of the tanks. But I mean, it's only going to be 3 Stalkers and the reinforcements. They're going to have another tank. He's going to drop out the tank. The tank can just kill this. Oh boy, I think it's about Dunzos. It's going to make more and more Stalkers, but it's such a difficult break with Stalkers. Now we do have Stim, we do have combat shields, we're about to have +1 and everything is falling apart here. Ladies and gentlemen, Bunny is gonna take this first map here, most likely in a swinging fashion. Oh, that's not a good trade, Bunny. Should bring those guys into the bunker. We will see the GG very shortly, I assume, but man, Gerald is just not giving up. I mean, if you think about the situation, if he can break this and stabilize, he has a shot. But you can't just go into the bunker. There's another tank showing up. Oh, more and more medevacs, more and more reinforcements. Such a rally push. It looks so incredibly old-fashioned. He's gonna get that Nexus, but then the Colossus is here. Can he break the third? If he can break the third, that's gonna be checkmate. He's in check right now. The next situation would be checkmate. Can he make it happen? He's gonna go, hopefully, into his concussives. Oh, he already has the concussives. There we go, man. And the tank rallying a little bit from a different angle. He kind of needs to utilize his units from those bunkers. He's only fighting with an inferior army, which he doesn't need to right now. He could utilize all of his units here from the north. But he's just... Oh, yeah, focus the tank. There we go. And Gerald trying to pull out the Colossi again. But he's gonna lose it to some bio. There we go. But then the tank is gonna get jumped on. As I said, man, Bunny has way more sitting over here in these 2 bunkers and in that tank, which he's not utilizing right now. But he could. I wonder when he's gonna realize that he can just pull all of these units and just basically overwhelm this position. There's gonna be another Colossi. Oh my god, is Gerald gonna hold this? He's gonna throw down another Nexus. He's not gonna give up. Can't believe it. Oh, these probes! Oh my god! Oof. Good quick reaction there, but that was almost the worst mistake. Now Bunny regrouping here from the north, trying to get in again. These reinforcements are gonna get caught. That's some nice catching here by Gerald, but will he pay with his Nexus? The answer is most likely yes. And is there any coming back from this one? I don't think so. No, Bunny, just please. He's gonna focus on the army here, focus on the Colossi. And I think he will just be able to overwhelm this army here. The Colossi still stands, but one Marauder is going to be enough to pop it. No, actually 2 Marines. And Gerald has the GG, man. Almost holding on here. But Bunny is not going to let up that pressure, man. If he has a chokehold around your bases, he will never let go until he finishes what he's come from. Woo, that was quite close there, actually. He was about to stabilize Gerald. And then he was like, alright. Bunny was like, alright, I still have these units with inside the bunker, that tank. And he grabbed all of his reinforcements there and then managed to overpower. But that was almost a hold. Very action-packed game, yeah? Love to see stuff like this. And this is what I love Bunny for. He kind of makes these games happen. Very exciting personality to watch. Now map number 2. Yo, Sheep Battery, hope you're having a good day today. We do have ourselves a incredibly close best of 3, even though it just turned out 1-0. In the bottom right, it is Gerald almost holding on for like 10 minutes against a 2-base all-in, kind of. From this player in the bottom left, it is Bunny. Now I wonder who chose this map. And I wonder who chose the first map. I kind of feel like the first map was chosen by Bunny and this one's the choice from Gerald. But let's wait and see how they want to play this one. I feel though it would be more difficult to do the same thing here for Bunny. For starters, you have the high ground natural basically, so there's gonna be that ramp you can just defend. So it's way difficult to push that area. And the second is you could go into your backup third base kind of in this area, which would then be exposed, but it's also difficult to push in. You need to mine out these minerals first, or mine out these minerals, or boost over. So I'm not sure how Bunny's gonna play this one. But then again, kind of being this stable for 2 bases and potentially 3 bases this base, and having this kind of greed area behind your third base, if you choose to expand in that direction, also opens up this map for very crazy openings. We've seen battlecruiser rushes, we've seen tempest rushes, we've seen carrier rushes. There have been insane openings on this map, so I'm kind of excited to see how the players want to play this one, because there's a lot of potential on this map. Bunny seems to be going for the same opening here, at least he's starting out the same. It's going to be a factory opening, he's building a Reaper, and he already made space for that reactor. That was a lucky break there on the SCV, just shimmying over there at the correct moment of time. Factory, of course, being thrown down here. And this is gonna be, well, it's gonna be the reactor, but this is gonna be the Hellion with that one. Also some Maru SCV bounces. You mean Flash, right? Oh, so Gerald opens this up himself. And he's gonna keep the watchtower for now. Bunny's gonna go into expand, he's gonna go into that Hellion, he's gonna most likely do the same good old, you know, never stop a running system. And he will go into the double Reaper indeed, so 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions are gonna be the pushing force to try and poke the enemy, get the scouting intel he wants, and try to keep his opponent back a little bit, to try and assert map control for himself and get that kind of 2-base push going. I'll have to wait and see though if he's gonna throw down a third CC with this, or it's gonna be the barracks number 4 and 5 again, like it was last time with that one engineering bay. We barely touched on the build, right, by Bunny last game because there was so much action going on. He was basically pushing from his 1-1 situation onwards and it never stopped, right? You're casting SC2, so it's Maru SCVs, he's Mr. GSL. Well, I guess, yeah. Mr. GSL is kind of a funny title. Now, Bunny, can he break this one? He has the grenades, he could bounce, he's gonna bounce the units. He gets, well, a probe and that adapt, and now he's gonna run in with the Reapers, but only 2 to survive. This time no sheep battery though, so maybe he's gonna catch a few probes here. is at least gonna be more than last time. Gets 2. The Hellion is inside that third base, also killing 1 more. And I think the Reapers did kill another one. So it's gonna be 4 in total, but he does lose all of these units. Remember, he had the Reapers last time with his push. 3 of those did survive. If you think, yeah, it's only Reapers, right? But in these early skirmishes, you could see the Reapers can kind of out-trade Stalkers in small numbers. They can out-trade Adepts in small numbers. It comes down to micro a lot of times, and on the support units. And if it's like smaller numbers, like if you have 5 Marines and 3 Reapers, it's actually quite a formidable force against 3 Stalkers. Or 4 Stalkers, right? It makes a big difference. If you have 4 Stalkers or 3 Stalkers against 5 Marines, you're laughing at the Marines. But if there's 3 Reapers in the basically back line there, or the front line, it's a whole different story. So this does make a follow-up push quite a bit weaker, and we do see a different story this time. Starport, Cloak, Banshees, and this has been scouted. So very good Phoenix here, coming in, hallucination, seeing everything. Bonnie's playing this a little bit more defensive. I'm expecting to see a third base this time, probably after he has his 3 racks set up. He's actually gonna push out now. He will hit these Stalkers, please. No, Bonnie. Now this is where you like pull back on top of your ramp again, and then you siege up your tanks, get that first shot in, the first volley. He's gonna try to push with his Banshees coming from that low area, but there's a pylon that did see this Banshee. There's another pylon, so this is already full anti-Banshee setup here, and Gerald is nicely reducing the Marine count. He's not trying to focus on those tanks because he knows there's 2 SCVs on the repair duty here. So if you can kind of bleed out these Marines, well, then he can just jump on the tanks eventually. Now Bunny still again not going for that third base, and he's just making more production and doing his rally push, but we do have an Immortal already out here. So it's a different story this time. We do have the double Banshee though as well this time. So maybe he can set up a good position down here, a couple bunkers, maybe a little bit closer, and then he can cut off circulation from that area to this third base. We'll have to wait and see though. Yeah, he's gonna kind of go in this position. He does still have these SCVs. He's gonna slap down a bunker or not. We do see these Stalkers going to circumvent this area, and they will try to intercept reinforcements here. And Barney does see this now, and he's gonna be like, oh wait, you're gonna jump on my tanks now, aren't you? Now he's gonna try to defend his tanks, but he loses both of them. The Immortal comes down, it's gonna snipe the SCVs. He's gonna lose all of his bio units. Can the Banshee deal some counter damage here? Only 4 4 probes, so not that big of a deal. I think he killed or cancelled the shield battery. I guess he killed it. So in the end, good defense here by Gerald. He's looking good. And we do see, wow, that's 3 Banshee. That's quite the investment here. So the Banshee opening didn't really do what it was intended to do. It was intended to break the front line. It wasn't. He has 4 Banshees? No, oh, this is this one. Okay. But yeah, it was intended to kind of break the front line and get a foothold and to try to cancel that third base. But it's not going to happen, so now he kind of has to play from this position. It's not like it's a terrible position, but he lost most of his units, right? So basically, he has a good setup at home for his production, for his tech, for his economy. But what he did invest into in that early game, in those units, the unit count is basically reduced to the same amount of units that Gerald has. And oh my... Usually, wow, he keeps it alive. Usually you do have that advantage for the Terran in the early mid-game, right? Where you have like 20 more supply something. Because the Protoss goes into AoE and you kind of have to deal with that AoE, right? So you have to have a little bit more supply. In the end, it's not going to be there for Bunny, so he kind of needs to stay defensive. Or he can go very committed drops, which he likes to do. You'll see him like, he'll just grab the first 2 medivacs and grab these units and just go across the map. But what does he have at home then? He has 1 tank and like this Marauder, you know? That's gonna be the stuff that's gonna be left at home. Just wait for it. You'll see it in a second. And that's gonna be very committed, right? If there's... What is that? If there's gonna be a counter push from Gerald, he will basically hit a naked base. I like the turret. It's gonna catch that observer, but he doesn't actually catch it, so... He only glimpses on it. And we do see both players going into more economy here. 4th base setup starting there for Gerald. He's going into that. Please blink out, my man. He's going into that Colossus range. He's going into that +1 on that forge. Probably more Chrono Boost that a little bit more. That upgrade. And he's going into a Templar Archive, so eventually going to be Storm on the field. We do see Widowmine transition here for Bunny now. He's going into Vikings to try and counter these Colossus. And he's going very Marauder heavy, since he has those 3 Tech Labs already. And he's going into a 4th base. Now, after that, we should probably see the Ghost Academy come up next. He's firstly gonna go into his extra upgrade, so Armory and Engineering Bay number 2 here on the way. And eventually then it's gonna be the Ghost Academy. Since there's no Storm yet, he's still fine to not utilize any EMPs here. That's actually some very nice Widowmine connections here on top of the army. Now, can he break this army potentially? Maybe the answer is yes. There's not that many reinforcements. Nice flank here from Gerald from the north. He's going to warp in a few zealots, but nice Widowmines again, man. Kind of hidden there. Barney doing some work with that army. Actually looking to be inferior, but in the end he trades so well that he's up quite a bit in army supply. And Banshee's coming in again here. They are one-shotting still, because they are in a group of 2. You know, they always want to be 2. It's basically like the Sith. There's always 2. And you know why? Because then they can one-shot workers. That's why the Sith always work in pairs. It's a very well-known fact, of course. And it's a bane to the Jedi since ages. Now there's always a second one, see? One did just get killed, but there's another one already waiting. There's always 2. Now Bunny is trying to assert a little bit more of map control here, but they can't really control that flow between the 4th and the 3rd from Gerald, which frankly is quite far apart. But man, Gerald is having such a big trouble time here with those Banshees actually coming in again and again, sniping his units here. And always in pairs, always making it difficult. He only brings in an observer, that's not gonna kill anything. I mean, now he can see how his probes die, but that's not gonna help him much. Can Barney get a snipe on this base? I don't think the answer is yes here. There's gonna be Storm, there's gonna be Colossi. That should be way too much here for Barney to handle. He doesn't have any Ghost with his army, so no EMP to peel off the shields, no EMP to reduce those Storms to ashes. And finally, the Banshees will be dealt with. As I say that though, one is still has too much energy. It's eventually gonna chew through the energy there. It does kill a probe. He does actually recharge. Oh, Bunny did miss Micro here a little bit. He tried to... He has his attack move first. Ah, that's unfortunate. So he's just shooting at Stalkers, man. He could be... Yeah, there we go. Could be working on probes. He could have actually killed a few probes. That was a lot of shots. And Gerald, man, why are you not bringing in an observer? He's waiting for this to run out, but that was like 80 or 90 energy or something. That's 90 seconds of free damage for a Banshee. Yeah, that's so much time. Look at this. This Banshee is killing so much. Finally, the observer comes in, but that was like the last 10 energy. Now he's gonna get a cancel here on this base. Definitely, Gerald underestimating these Banshees there a little bit in that later stage of the game. Is he gonna lose both of his Colossi here? Oh my god, the answer is yes. Great engagement from Bunny, but we do still have 3 more Colossi there coming in from the north. Bunny's gonna be surprised to see that many coming in for him. He does have the Vikings kind of over this weird jungle area. Can he snipe this Colossi? Yes! Oh my god, he might just melt all of the army here from Gerald. Gerald only looking at 15 army supply. He doesn't have any Templars. Remember, he used that overcharge. It's back up again though. So the Templar he just warped in is potentially gonna be overcharged. Please use it. Use it. What are you waiting for? You should use it. You need that energy. He has a lot of money. If you look at this, he has so much gas he could warp in, like 3 High Templars or 5 even, if you want to. He has only 8 gates, so maybe he's lacking a little bit of production. He is going to look at that, 7 High Templars. Where's the warp in? I want to see that one. There. That's his blank basically, and he's gonna even make an Archon because he needs some fodder. He's lacking the production a little bit. He's going into a second robo now. I think he lost one. No, actually he didn't. He's just trying to make up for his 5 dead Colossi. And to be quite frankly, kind of lost him a little bit sloppily. That wasn't the greatest engage for him. It looked kind of nice on paper coming from 2 sides, but then the Colossi were very exposed in the north and just died to the Vikings. And that's not how you want to engage with the Colossi. You needed to have a little bit more charge lot, a little more fodder under that. Now we do see the first ghosts, of course, here with those EMPs, so all of these Archon mixes are going to be way weaker, already peeling off half of the shields from that one with an EMP there. And Bunny is trying to go into that main base here, or into the natural, but this is going to be a little bit dangerous. We're looking at a 90 army supply Bunny, but he has 9 medivacs. That's about 20 supply, 18 supply in non-fighting units. They will be valuable over time, but they don't shoot. Still though, it might just be enough here that staying power from those medivacs is gonna help Bunny to pull through, just utilize a bunch of stims, and Bunny's gonna break Gerald here. Man, that was a really great series, I have to say. Very competitive, very well fought by both sides. It looked like Gerald was up quite a bit there in that mid-game, after that failed early game push from Bunny in the second map. But then Bunny just kind of outdid him in that one big engagement at the natural ramp. He kind of sniped 2 Colossi there for basically free. And then those kind of 5 Colossi fell apart. It also was split up. So he tried to come in from the north there at the same time. And then the Colossi already in the south did die. If he could have pincered with the Colossi at the same time, like this battle completely looks... It's all coming down to engagement, literally, at that second. It's all coming down to engagement. Bunny did a beautiful job there. Gerald a little bit sloppy, a little bit late with his reactions. Maybe he didn't have enough vision on the map to react in time, to give himself that extra second that you sometimes need to get your units in position. In the end, Bunny takes that game beautifully. Beautifully done there.